The police accused him of theft, not knowing he was a CIA agent who had risked his life in the world's most dangerous places. To bystanders, he was proof of systemic racism. In court, the truth unraveled, sparking a battle for justice that shocked everyone. What happened next would leave even the most seasoned observers speechless. But let's start at the beginning. On a quiet evening in downtown Atlanta, the warm glow of streetlights illuminated the bustling city streets. Jordan Mitchell, a polished black man in his early 30s, stepped out of a sleek black sedan parked near a high-end electronics store. His navy blazer fit him perfectly, paired with tailored slacks and Italian leather loafers that clicked softly on the sidewalk as he walked. Despite his understated attire, Jordan carried himself with the quiet confidence of someone used to navigating life-threatening situations, an attribute honed by his years as a CIA field operative. Inside the store, Jordan's sharp eyes scanned the neatly arranged shelves of cutting-edge gadgets. A recent mission had left him drained, and he relished the moment of normalcy, even if just to browse the latest tech. After purchasing a small item, a sleek wireless earbud set, he exited the store, the transaction quick and uneventful. Unbeknownst to him, two uniformed officers, Jeff Daniels and Mark Reynolds, had parked their patrol car nearby, watching him closely. The officers, fresh to the precinct and overly eager to make their mark, had been patrolling the neighborhood following a string of shoplifting incidents. From their vantage point, Jordan's confident stride and the branded store bag in his hand seemed suspicious. Their exchanged glance, one laden with assumptions, cemented their next move. As Jordan reached his car and unlocked it, Officer Daniels called out, his voice firm but cautious. "Excuse me, sir." Jordan turned slowly, meeting the officer's gaze with calm composure. "Yes, officer," he replied evenly, his hands visibly holding the small shopping bag. The interaction quickly spiraled. Daniels demanded Jordan's ID, while Reynolds circled behind him, their demeanor shifting from inquiry to suspicion. Despite Jordan's clear explanations and polite cooperation, their biases clouded reason. "We've had reports of theft," Daniels said, his tone growing sharper. "Mind telling us what's in the bag?" Minutes later, with growing aggression and no evidence, the officers forced Jordan against the hood of his car. Handcuffs clinked as they snapped onto his wrists. Bystanders gathered, smartphones capturing every humiliating moment, as Jordan maintained his stoic resolve. Hidden in his blazer pocket, a small recording device captured the officer's every word. Silent, but damning proof of the injustice unfolding. At the precinct, the sterile fluorescent lights buzzed faintly, casting an unflattering glow over the cramped interrogation room. Jordan Mitchell sat in the lone metal chair, his posture relaxed, hands cuffed in front of him. Despite the rough treatment he had endured, his confidence remained unshaken. His gaze was steady, his expression calm, even as officers Jeff Daniels and Mark Reynolds hovered like vultures over the table. "Where'd you get that money, huh?" Reynolds sneered, slamming the stack of neatly folded bills from Jordan's wallet onto the table. His tone carried more accusation than question. Jordan raised an eyebrow, unimpressed. "It's called a paycheck," he said with dry amusement. "You should try it sometime." Daniels bristled at the remark, while Reynolds exchanged a glance with him, their suspicion deepening. To them, Jordan's calm demeanor was arrogance, a suspect trying to play games. They had already decided he was guilty, and his refusal to act intimidated only fueled their defensiveness. "Let's see who you really are," Daniels muttered, stepping out to run Jordan's ID through the system. The silence in the room was tense, broken only by the rhythmic tapping of Reynolds's fingers on the table as he glared at Jordan. Minutes later, Daniels returned, his face pale and tight with confusion. "Something's off," he said in a low voice to Reynolds. "The profile's flagged. High clearance or something." Before Reynolds could respond, the door burst open and Captain Howard entered, his expression a mix of irritation and unease. "Mitchell," he said, his tone suddenly deferential, "you've got some explaining to do." Jordan leaned back in his chair, completely unfazed. "Maybe it's time you call my employer," he said smoothly, sliding a sleek black card across the table. The faint CIA emblem on its surface gleamed under the harsh lights. The captain froze, realizing the gravity of the situation. Reynolds and Daniels, however, were still clueless. "What, you expect us to believe you're some kind of James Bond?" Daniels scoffed, trying to mask his unease. Jordan's lips curled into a faint smile. "You'll find out soon enough," he replied, his calm tone carrying an undercurrent of quiet authority that left the room silent. The story of Jordan Mitchell's wrongful arrest spread like wildfire. Clips of the incident, captured by bystanders' phones, flooded social media. The footage showed Jordan, handcuffed and pressed against the hood of his car, maintaining his composure despite the officer's aggressive accusations. The public was outraged, seeing the incident as a glaring example of racial profiling. Within hours, hashtags demanding justice for Jordan began trending, and news outlets picked up the story, igniting a national conversation. As the case advanced to court, the anticipation was palpable. The courtroom was packed with journalists, activists, and curious onlookers, all eager to see justice unfold. Jordan, dressed sharply in a tailored suit, walked in with the same calm dignity that had become his hallmark. He wasn't the defendant. He was a key witness for the prosecution. The unexpected twist left officers Daniels and Reynolds visibly shaken. The prosecution wasted no time presenting its case. Jordan's CIA supervisors took the stand, their testimony shocking the courtroom. They confirmed Jordan's position as a field operative and provided insights into his career, carefully omitting classified details. Words like covert missions and national security left many spectators in awe. It was clear, this was no ordinary citizen. The pivotal moment came when the prosecutor played the recording captured by Jordan's pocket device. The courtroom was silent as the officers' voices filled the room, their words laced with prejudice and disdain. The recording revealed their baseless accusations, their mocking tone, and their disregard for Jordan's explanations. Every phrase further eroded the defense's claims. Turning to Jordan, the prosecutor asked, "Mr. Mitchell, why didn't you reveal your identity immediately?" Jordan's response was calm, yet powerful. "Because it shouldn't matter. I shouldn't need to be a CIA agent to be treated with basic respect." The room fell silent, the weight of his words hanging heavily in the air. The officer's defense, built on reasonable suspicion, crumbled under the overwhelming evidence and public opinion. The verdict loomed, but for many, the trial had already delivered its moral judgment. The jury deliberated briefly before delivering a guilty verdict on charges of misconduct and abuse of authority. The officers were dismissed from the force, their careers and reputations tarnished. As Jordan exited the courthouse, reporters clamored for his attention. "Mr. Mitchell, do you have any comments on today's outcome?" one asked. Jordan paused, his expression thoughtful. "This isn't just about me. It's about every person who's been judged unfairly because of their skin color. I hope this case serves as a reminder of the work we still need to do." Later, in a quiet moment, Jordan reflected on the broader impact of the case. While justice had been served, the victory felt bittersweet. It was a stark reminder of the systemic bias that continued to plague the country, and Jordan resolved to use his position to push for meaningful change.